Hi, welcome or welcome back. This is Dina with Impressive Warrior. This is another Daily Dharma. We're starting out with some pre-messages today. And before we get started, my chair is squeaking. I apologize for the noise. We'll get it taken care of before the next video, but I noticed it just as we're going live online here. So the pre-messages, there's an element of returning to your foundational truth, whether this is, we just recently, at the time of this recording, had Mother's Day. So it could have been a return to your literal family of origin, your hometown, or it can really talk more symbolically about a return to your inner nature or a return to Mother Earth and nature overall, because we had first coming out, return to the mother tree, 10 of light codes. That's a really soft and beautiful picture. It's really giving me the return to nature, and there's something that you may be producing. And it may be whatever you're producing in regards to this natural thing. And it seems like something, I don't want to minimize it. It isn't a small thing with this card coming through, but it seems like something that is just a small part of what you do, or one small piece of what you're manifesting right now. It seems insignificant in the general scheme of what you've been working on and growing with, but the profound impact that's happening through this is not to be underestimated. I'm seeing time with a specific tree, and this tree doesn't have to be a literal tree. There's some type of growth, some type of fabric or lineage, because it comes out with the 5 lineage, the Hierophant card. And see how that is literally here channeling into this creation of the baby being this seed or this vision that's sprouting, because it's growing this beautiful tree here from within itself. And we see all of these faces here above and below. And because of this being the mother tree, there's something about the actual bio matrix, bio origin. I know these words aren't real, but they're coming through from spirit. They don't have a translation. There's a return to the genetic makeup of either our literal mother or the Mother Earth, and talking about how we connect back with whatever information is coming through. So sitting within some type of a lesson allows us to see how it impacts the greater whole as we trace the branches out into its reach, into its extremity. And as we trace the roots, we can see the shadow side, we can see its origin story. And somewhere in the middle, it's producing something that it's giving this angelic expression coming through you, some type of radiance coming through you, where you are an interpreter of these sacred codes, these sacred light codes. And the return to the mother tree is like giving me the 10, reducing to the ace again, going back full circle to the beginning of this origin story, is bringing some type of teaching for your life, and how whatever's coming through is some type of unlocking of a sacred, unique gift inherent to who you are, because you're reading these codes, these light codes, and embodying something new to do with your gifts. We did have Gnosis coming out from the archetypal deck here. And what was on the bottom? Yes, the village. So the village and Gnosis were understanding something about the way that either humankind has developed through these different stories, as we've been talking about, and how people have chosen to activate through that opportunity, that invitation. The code card deck pre-messages came through with a unique message. Solar plexus chakra under the deck, radiant illumination. Ooh, and I'm seeing, is this Mount Shasta? And delight and magic below that. Yep. So there's a magical delight to do with connecting with the earth. There's some type of download available, and I don't think Mount Shasta is literal in today's context. I believe that this is talking about that origin story, getting back to some type of origin story. It's talking about charging the ley lines, charging the perhaps geographical location, or the seed and tree connection of the genetic mirroring between generations and that storyline. There's something about learning something that has been resistant so far. But with this radiant illumination, it's stepping forward now for us to understand something, because there's a dynamic at work under the surface of our lives that had to do with this lineage. However, we previously learned and activated being at the end of that cycle, because with dynamic, unique gifts and the water overflow card, we're really talking about our ability to see what we have on offer with these cards. And before I go further into those messages, underneath the next series of decks, I found it is interesting. Below the deck, this one wanted to peek out. Sisters of the Star Blossom speaks of Pleiadian star seed origins that may be relevant to whatever situation you're talking about today. And the two cards that came out, two different decks, and I don't understand the language that's being referenced here, but if you can see the two words side by side here, they're very similar. Bahavatarini, but that Bhavana, Meta Bhavana here looks like that. Bhavana and Bhavatarini. It's like the one of the Bhavana. And of course, I don't know the literal translation. It didn't seem to be in the book when I skimmed through real quick, because it seemed like the word wanted to tell me a little bit something else. In fact, I'm wanting to pause and look online, but I'm going to resist that urge and stay in the flow here. So Meta Bhavana here, Meta to me talks about transcending the earthly planes. Meta is like the over story, the above perspective, I believe, in what I'm seeing here. And looking at the cards themselves, this Meta 18 card has a lot to do with befriending others, being sweet and gentle and open with others, but also being a friend to ourselves. And what does that truly mean to us? Because we have this Sisters of the Star Blossoms. It seems like we're talking about friendship, and whether we're masculine or feminine, friendship with feminine is coming forward significantly, because we also again had that return to the mother's line, the mother's lineage here has something to teach us that has to do with some life lessons here about how to be gentle and honest and and good to ourselves, to then again recognize our own unique gifts and the contributions that we are making to that village, to the community dynamics, through flowing within our excellence and believing in our gifts and letting them flow forward and transform the world with this radiant illumination of, yes, I can, yes, I do want this. It's a powerful acceptance and transcendence of the heaviness of the shadow of resistance and playing small. So this other card, this Bahavatriini 44, master number 44, talks more about really stopping, putting a hard stop to an old pattern that has resisted change up until this point. And notice that she has this crown here on her head, and this flow card often looks to me like that top crescent moon looking thing. One of her sets of hands is placing that almost on her head. It's like that. What is that Egyptian image on Isis and Sekhmet and Bat? Is that 1111 when I was saying that? It's often drawn with this like cup like thing or a disc. I believe it's supposed to be a disc, but I'm seeing it as a cup, a container. It's like being able to sustain and fulfill ourselves through spirit and to flow with whatever comes to us is how we attain the knowledge to self-develop and to put all of that chaos into structural form. And this came through the Scorpio reading. I don't know if some of you are Scorpios, as programming the water, as if like the Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiments, when we were talking about how we speak to ourselves, how we are friendly and kind to ourselves, is actually programming the waters within ourselves. And ultimately, because we have this mother code with this unique gifts, is it's giving that we were uniquely brought into this maternal lineage with a specific code to activate by the it wants to be called the dramas and the supposed failures of the mother line, where something that they couldn't quite put their finger on, something that they couldn't resolve, and it may have to do with playing out a role that didn't suit them, wearing a mask that didn't suit them to sustain something because of necessity. And you're here in this unique position with that karma that you've been, that didn't necessarily belong to you. It was you were brought into an environment that held karma, and so it was wearing you like a loose fitting garment. And it's like now that there's been this transformation, this illuminating truth of how to treat yourself better, how to value yourself better. There's this putting a stop to something again here and really taking your place amongst your tribe. So lastly, these 3D cards popped out. And again, remember this return to the mother tree, 10 of light codes. First one out was return reunion. There's something that's coming full circle. It's coming back around. And it comes out with somebody admiring you secretly. The word surreptitiously is coming through. So that's giving me like somebody just paying attention to you out of the corner of their eye, giving you the side eye, but trying to hide that from you, but trying to almost get you to interact with them because they're trying to figure out what it is about you, these unique gifts and this overflow. They're trying to figure you out so that they can be a match to you. And it seems like why this is coming out is because either you ran into somebody or some type of social media presence or posting or pictures or interaction here is triggering somebody to take notice of you again, having made this huge change in your own energy frequency. Because of course before you were seen having on, it's like a little kid playing dress up in their parents' tie and big heels or whatever it is. It's like the energy that you were promoting in your distant past wasn't really a good, it didn't fit you like a glove, so to speak. And so it looks like this it's either somebody running into someone or you coming into your own, a return of a lesson. It doesn't need to be sparred on by anyone in particular. And that reminds me again with the programming the water showing up in the Scorpio reading. Yesterday was the day of the Scorpio full moon. I almost forgot. So sun is in Taurus, moon is in Scorpio. And when the moon is in Scorpio, it's very deep waters. And so this full moon may have triggered some type of awareness about something stepping forward for you, or really unlocking your gifts and letting them flow in a new way. It could even be for some of you, you may have had a very emotional release, for instance, in regards to this lineage, in regards to your past, in regards to your mother, or something to do with that. But coming back around with the secret admirer, it almost seems like this energy is your pattern in relationships, romantic relationships in particular, stepping forward as something that is related to the wounding patterns from this childhood dynamic. So the secret admirer is coming in saying, I see you in my future. I'd love to impress you. That's why they're learning your vibe and trying to jump in and be some type of superhero energy for you. But you're seeing through this old pattern and seeing your value in such a way, not to say that this individual isn't a, a good, valid candidate for some romantic type engagement, but it just seems like, does this really align with your highest path? It seems like that's coming out because you understand that they're really not on the same type of otherworldly quest and life purpose and self-discovery that you are. You're doing a lot of generational healing. You've come out of a huge darkness in your past, like a seed here planted below the soil, and you've shown yourself to have bloomed into this gorgeous flower, this gorgeous star blossom here. And so you're treading carefully with these invitations. It seems like the higher you climb, the more individuals want to get to know you. And you're being reminded, this one stays on the deck, enlighten your energy, play, joy, humor. So don't get distracted or frustrated by these energies. Whenever you're radiant, then it's going to be magnetic and attractive. So see what it is that you can contribute to these invitations. Seeing these other wings coming from the sacral chakra, that's interesting. Interesting. I don't quite know what to make of it. But let's, I'm getting the Frenemies card. So, okay, I want to say this. Oh, in trauma bonding under the deck. That's quite an interesting combo. Needing freedom from someone perhaps with dark hair features or so on. Root chakra, overlooked opportunity, gratitude. There's some type of missed opportunity that looks like it's, what is that saying? Unanswered prayers are... Oh, there's an old country song from the 90s, I think, that's something about something like some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. That's what I'm getting. There's a shift. And so, yes. Let's go ahead and just keep moving here. The trauma bond is some old type of energy. Feline and faith. Trust your instincts in this way. Simplicity. I feel like there's something trying to come in. Assistance wanted to flip. Let's commitment. Let's switch decks here. Something wants to come out and I'm not quite getting it. One moment. Okay, I think what I'm trying to say here is that you're on a pathway of developing your unique gifts here. You're taking in a lot of light language, and so you're on this sacred quest. And so you are arresting the flow of any type of negativity, any types of engagement with toxic environments and so on. And you're really keeping your energy clean and pristine because you're looking to activate these higher level engagements. And so it looks like you're really walking in faith that you don't have to take any invitations that don't suit you. There's something coming in. So you're ready to walk away from, again, negativity or any types of old addictive patterns, particularly related to trauma bonds. So other individuals that are in cycles of addiction or codependency isn't going to suit you right now. Detox, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So again, with this, taking good care of yourself, there's something here about cleansing your energy and being able to restore something at a soul level for yourself. You were perhaps born into some type of energy that wasn't yours, and so you're repairing this. You're repairing the whole genetic lineage here. Underneath is the rainbow, and this to me definitely seems like the chakra energies with the rainbow coming into this bloom cycle. But it's also to me a very chariot card, a lot of momentum and energy, a lot of sunlight, exotic nature. So there's something very exotic and alluring about you. And so, you know, the zebra doesn't necessarily want to go hang out and have a lifetime mate that's just a mule, or another word for a mule. Watchers, transpersonal, and, you know, no shade to anyone else. It's just you've already made it through a very big layer of your healing. With this Watcher's transpersonal, I'm again getting that Egyptian energy with this huge sphinx-like statue in the desert. It's as if the ancestors or powers that be, whatever you believe in, are watching your transformation. This radiant illumination is happening as you break through these old resistant codes, the old resistant upbringing. It's like there were these old programs active in the water of your family, of your town, of your engagements, and through your ability to take in all of these waters and cleanse and transmute this energy, what has come from that is this unique ability to walk with this star seed energy here. Let's see what else we've got. the Ancient Ones, this definitely is my Ancestors card. There's a grandmotherly type energy, again with that mother, the return to the mother tree. There's some type of magnetism that maybe you have with a specific place or a specific person that you may be feeling the urge to visit. And this doesn't need to be a person in the flesh right now. This could be a person that is an ancestor. Maybe you're visiting graves or connecting with these ancestral energies on the astral or some other way through the creation of altar work or something like that, making your offerings. I'm not sure what practices you'll be engaging in, but something about this helps you to release the old program and to break through that stagnant, stoic type of just watching life pass you by. There's this energy of always watching TV or reading books or watching other people have fun, other people in relationships, and so on, while somebody just sat back and just watched other people living their life, doing sports, whatever it might be. But you here, it looks like the more that you cleanse the energy of removal and operating from the perimeter of the circle, the perimeter of the village, you're coming into the sacred center of yourself and allowing yourself to flow with your vision to create that, yes, destroyer, and then the shadow is under that, and the underworld. I got to keep going. The stone, the philosopher's stone, exactly. So you're breaking through the stone, the statuary, some type of imagery that you were almost co-created to be this individual. So your parents may have tried to get you to be a certain way through many different things. And Thanatos, talking about that sacred dimension of timelessness beyond the reality that we're in right now. So yeah, you were born into the underworld, under the soil, like this seed, and you've activated your bloom cycle because you were able to leave the underworld, because you were able to destroy the shadow that was cast by integrating it. You're not destroying and eliminating the shadow. The shadow gets integrated and you're destroying the false illusions and the false power that it held over you, because your vision is worth it. You've gone into this sacred holy mountain, the Mount Shasta, exactly, this stoicism. There's some type of inner pillar or inner mountain that had to be climbed because you've got this vision. So you've planted your own seed here, and you're this priestess energy connecting hands above and below. So you may be working with a lot of hermetic principles here, but there's a lot of portal gateway keeper here with this vision energy. You've been given some type of sacred vision that wants to create this portal for the village. Here you are planting this ring for the village. There's that mountain again. Here's the mountain. The Mount Shasta is definitely there in your energy. And I'm also seeing this is a vision that you're birthing with the womb energy, whether male or female. Again, the village is going to be served by this journey that you're on to share your sacred gifts. Yeah, so let's keep going. Just a few more. Exactly. We keep talking about this journey. This individual has really been on a healing journey to embrace themselves, to love themselves, to befriend their own shadow. And that's really what we're talking about here, is any of those negative cycles it was even coming through earlier, like my grandmother loved her whiskey, cleared her throat, she would say. But honestly, I always have to remember that that energy is present in the family line in multiple dimensions. And so I wanted to also say, before going on camera, I was shuffling the code card decks and I got beyond the mind with the heart chakra. So we're really opening up our loving nature by moving beyond our judgmental mind and into the waters, into the flow state. The rattle, again with conjuring and foreshadowing. It's like we're starting to loosen up those old, like the Tin Man, how he was so creaky he couldn't even move. And that's what I'm getting with this Tin Man energy. And remember, he didn't have a heart. That was his thing. But turns out he had the biggest heart of any of them. He just didn't understand that he did. Something like that, right? You were born into a situation that seemed very, very difficult, but you were born in love. The co-creation was there, even if it didn't seem like it was. You've always been protected. So you're diving into these deep waters, into the shadow space here, and getting your vision on the road. Looks like you're connecting with other individuals across the web or creating a website or something for your energies. There's many paths to succeed here. Divine Feminine, the womb energy. What did I say? Yes, there's definitely something coming through with that womb energy, something that the vision that has been created. So let's see if there's any advice that wants to come through. We're right at the end of the video. I hope that this helped you guys to feel your way through. Take very good care of yourself during this time. Number 40, return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. So the return, we're talking about the return. So this definitely has something to do with the genetic lines and the way that our parents were parented and how we were or were not mentored, and then the resulting way that we utilize our energy to be in the flow with the sacred circle instead of the hierarchy. I saw a clip, I don't want to take too long, something about this woman started out and then her toddler 5-year-old would finish a statement and she said things like, if you're going to cry, I'll give you something to, and he said, feel good about? Exactly. You're correcting something for yourself and for generations to come. You're correcting some old karma. The leader of armies is the arbiter of people's fate, the man on who it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. You're challenging those status quo energies. Disciplined and calm to await the appearance of disorder and hubbub amongst the enemy. That's the art of retaining self-possession.